Hello everybody. I'm glad that you could come back and join me for another video. My name is Nancy and I'm with Nancy's Original Art. Now I do ask that you please forgive me. For some reason the video app that I use to create my videos, it suddenly quit working with my ring light remote. So in order for me to be able to pause my videos and come back to them, I have to actually walk around my table and press the button on my phone. So again, please forgive me for that, but I promise this is going to be another great video. So for this video, I'm going to be using a 12 by 16 canvas. Now I know what you're thinking. I tend to do the 12 by 16 canvases in every video. I've actually not been doing this Dutch pour paint technique for very long. I'm still learning the process, and until I get more comfortable with it and I get better at it or improve at it, I'm going to kind of stick with the smaller canvases. Once I actually improve and I get a little bit more experienced with it, get a little better at it, I'm going to actually expand and go from the smaller canvases to the much bigger canvases, maybe some really long ones. Not sure, but we'll get there. So today, not only am I using the 12 by 16 canvas, I do want to show you this time around. I don't know if you can see them because they're kind of the color of the paint I've been using, but I actually have paint stands placed on my table. I take the 16 or 12 by 16 canvas and I get it placed on the stands. Make sure that it's going to stay pretty sturdy, okay? The other things that I have on my table that I'm going to be using today is my paint colors. I also have, which I do need to actually get it cleaned here soon, but I have my spatula. I keep paper towels near me. The ones that I like to use, they're from Walmart. I get them in the automotive department. They're the purple towels that a lot of places like auto shops, places like that, these are the type of paper towels that they like to use. And I find that they're actually really sturdy. It takes a lot to be able to rip them. So I love these towels. Then the next item that I like to have at my table is my little miniature blowtorch. This is so that when I get the canvas flooded, I can go along and I can blow out all the tiny little bubbles created when you shake up your mix. Also, after you put your other colors down, you're going to use it again to get the bubbles out of those colors also. And then last but not least, well actually not last, let's say second to last, I like to have a blow dryer close. This is the Flower blow dryer by Drew Barrymore. I was able to pick it up right at my local Walmart for less than 30 bucks. And the reason that I like this one so much is because one, it's very light. It's not a heavy blow dryer. Two, it's actually small. And I like that because it's easy for me to hold and be able to control as I'm blowing out my paints. And using it on low seems to work well with my size paintings. So I like to have this right near me because as soon as you get those paints down and you get the bubbles popped, you want to go ahead and get it blown out so it doesn't start to dry on you. Now, the last but not least is I like to have some sort of tool. This is actually a thin knitting needle, and I like to have it because once I've done my painting and once I've gotten the composition done, I will take this and I will go along the edges and actually scrape the bottom of the edges. And the reason for that is because once your painting is completed, you've got drips going along the bottom of the painting. Those drips are actually causing the paint that's sitting on top. The drips actually cause that painting to go from the center and actually pull out and go down off the edges. And it goes all ways, not just one way. So it's pulling it this way, pulling it that way, this way, and this way. But once you get those drips taken care of, it's going to stop pulling the paint and your composition is going to be just the way you wanted it. So let's go ahead and let's get started. The colors that I'm going to use for today is, of course, my favorite. I don't know why, but I just love using my Titanium White by Artist Loft. It's mixed with Floetrol and water. That's going to be my base. Then I'm going to be using Crimson by Artist Loft, a really pretty bright red. Then I'm using my 24 Karat Gold by Deco Art. I just love the 24 Karat Gold. And then I'm using Black by Artist Loft. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for a moment. I'm going to get my canvas flooded, and then I will be back and we will actually create the painting. Really quick, I did want to show you the reason for the spatula. We actually take this, and once we pour the base on the canvas, we're just going to take and we're just going to use the spatula and we're just going to kind of go like this, and we're just going to get it spread almost like you're icing a cake. You're just going to spread that paint onto the canvas. You're going to spread it all over. You want it to cover the canvas completely, even on the sides. You want to make sure that when you go to spread this canvas and spread the paint, that it actually does run over the sides. You want those sides to be covered, okay? And you're just going to keep going. Now you want to make sure though that you don't do like I just did and accidentally scrape the canvas with the handle. I tend to do that. It can be quite annoying because it can actually mess up your painting. You just want to be very careful. You want to kind of lightly go over it, but make sure that you're spreading that paint out. You don't want to have areas where the paint is really thick and other areas where the paint is super thin. So I will be back. I will finish getting that spread out and we will make the painting. Okay, so now we did get our canvas flooded. I do want to also tell you that I like to take my base. Once I get it made, I have one of the smaller bottles. I actually will pour some of the base in here. This way, when it comes time for it, which I did do already, I actually will take it and I just go along my edges and make sure that my edges are definitely completely covered. So now that we've done that, we want, as I said, to take the mini blowtorch. We're going to get it going. Sometimes it takes a moment. but we get it going, and we're just going to go along the painting like this. You may have to do a couple little passes, go different directions, but you will eventually get those bubbles popped. Now, if you go over a spot and you see that it doesn't look like it's popping, then most likely it's not a bubble. Most likely it is something that has gotten in the paint that shouldn't be there. Or in this case, it can also be where for some reason the paint didn't stay where it was supposed to. Like, you want to make sure that your edges and the top are covered, but again, you don't want to have it be too thick or it won't blow. It'll blow, but all the colors that you put in will disappear and you'll only have the white. Okay, so now the next step is going to be putting our actual colors down. Now, when I do a painting, I don't go right at the edge with my colors. It's just me. I don't like doing that. I will start about right here, and I will take the color across, and I will stop about right there. So first, we're going to use the crimson. This is my second time now of using these particular colors together. Now again, once you're done, you take your lid and you screw it back closed. I like to take a piece of paper towel and just wipe the tip so that paint does not get stuck around the top and gunk it up. The next color I'm going to be using is my 24 karat gold by Deco Art. Okay, clearly we are having an issue. Let's see. There we go. I didn't get the lid open enough. All right, so again, close the lid and then wipe off the tip. The last color, but not the least color, is going to be the black by Artist Loft. Okay. And I think because I did get a lot of gold, and I didn't mean to, I'm going to actually add just a little bit more red. Okay. Now we need to get our blowtorch again. And now we're just popping the bubbles within the colors that we just laid down. Once we get that done, now comes the fun part of actually blowing it out. So now, like I said, I'm going to use my Flower Blow Dryer by Drew Barrymore. I'm just going to turn it to low, and we're going to start blowing out. And there you have it. Now, yes, you are going to notice you've got a lot of color going on right here, You've got a lot of color going on right here. There is some color right in here. But like some of this, it did get a lot of white in it. But actually, that's not bad. This time, it looks really good. But sometimes, if you want to test it, I will take the blowtorch and I will just go into some of these areas here and kind of blowtorch them and see if I get any more color to come out. Like in this case, you see I'm getting some black cells right there. That actually looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, for some of the other spots, it didn't actually add any color. It just put some funky white spots. Except for like right there, we're getting a little bit more red there. Burn that. I'm actually not going to touch this painting anymore because I like the way it turned out. Even though you do see white there, you see a lot of white here, you've still got that color going around it, and especially the gold outline. So for me, it still looks really cool. And what I'm going to be doing is in a moment, I'm going to bring you down for a close-up. But first, we're going to take the tool. Like I said, mine is just a really thin, long knitting needle. And I'm just going to use it. And we're going to scrape our edges. I like to scrape too. And then I take the paper towel and I actually wipe the tool. And then I'm going to go in. I'm going to scrape this edge, come around, and now we're going to scrape this edge. Once I scrape those edges, we're going to go ahead and wipe again. Get it cleaned as best as you can. Now, that is my first scraping of the edges. I'm going to actually come back in about 10 minutes and I'm going to actually scrape those edges again. Of course, I won't do that until the video's done. But depending on where you're at, depending on the temperature in the room, and depending on how much paint you actually did put down, you may only have to scrape twice. I know of some that have had to scrape at least 3 times, some 4 times, depending on the size of the painting and how much paint they used. For me, I can usually get away with at least scraping twice, and then my painting does not pull anymore. But if you look at the composition right now, and like I said, I'm going to bring you up for a close-up, if I had not done those scrapes, those first set of scrapes, I guarantee by the time I went and grabbed the camera and brought you up for a close-up, this right here would have probably been almost over the edge. But because I scraped it, I have somewhat slowed it down almost to a stop. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring you down for the close-up. You're going to see all the beautiful colors. You're going to be able to see all the beautiful cells that were created. I'm just really, really loving this particular painting. I'm not a big fan of reds and blacks. My favorite colors are purples and blues and silvers and golds. Those are my favorite colors, but this one really did turn out pretty cool. I'm kind of liking it. So let me get you down for the close-up. Okay, so here we go with that close-up. Ooh, give me just one. I wanted to change my lighting a little bit so that you didn't get the glare from the light that's above me. Okay, see all the cool cells that have been created? Look up in here. Some of it It kind of almost mimics like the crackle look. But it's actually just a bunch of little cells that have created. Now, I am going to show you the area that I was talking about where at first I didn't have a lot of color there. I mean, I had color, but when I took the blowtorch, it actually created some black cells. I'm going to get you back to that spot. This spot right there. I happened to use the blowtorch and it actually created some of those black cells in there and just added more color to that area. Really came out cool. I'm loving this painting. It actually came out really cool. I can't wait to get this one resined. Okay, so I did try to keep this video short, but unfortunately, it did take a little longer than normal. I do apologize for that. Let me switch my lighting around. I do want to thank you all, though, again for joining me today for another video. Please do me a favor. Please like my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. And please, please, please share these videos with your friends and family. I thank you again and hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.